Real people, real celebrities, real talk.
Join the Breakfast Club.
Blast off in your
Weekday morning, 6 to 10.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club.
That's right. And this young man we have here, you may not know his face, but I bet you wear his clothes or have worn his clothes at some time in your life.
Right.
Whether it was academics or PRPS.
That's right.
Myself included?
That's right. Mr.
Harrell.
Harrell. Donwan Harrell. Good morning, sir.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Pretty
Always
good.
Nice to be here.
You got one of those names that could either be a fashion designer or a music executive.
Pretty much, yes. Pretty much.
Now, the first time I met Donwan, I met him with his brother years ago when I was working with Clue, and you guys had academics.
That is correct, yes.
And what happened with academics? It grew fast.
It was turned into a bit of a monster, over $110 million, and we ended up licensing it out. And I just focused on PRPS after that.
So now, are you and your brother still work with each other, or no? Did you guys?
No, we haven't worked together in over maybe 7 years.
Why not? You guys were great with academics.
I was phenomenal, but I wanted to do PRPS on my own.
And what does your brother do?
I'm not even sure the name of the company, honestly. I have no idea.
Damn it, man.
Some clothing line that nobody buys.
Damn it, man.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Now, I remember going into the office, and I remember you just had jeans all over the place. And I remember going up there one time, and you guys gave me a vintage pair of Coca-Cola jeans.
Yes.
With the Coca-Cola stripe on the back of it. And you guys told me to hold it because it would be worth money. And I just held it, and I still have it.
You still have it?
Is it worth
Absolutely.
money?
I don't know. Is it worth?
Probably not.
Oh, damn it.
Probably not.
Guys,
Gas
Hold it
you
a little
up.
longer. Hold it a little
Hold
longer.
it a little longer.
Hold on, we're speeding a little bit now because I'm extremely inspired by this brother's story. I had the pleasure of going to the PRPS showroom and kicking it with Donwan, and he had to kick me out because I just kept asking questions over and over. So I needed him to come to the Breakfast Club and just tell his story. Who is Donwan Harrell, first of all?
Well, this is a short show, right?
No, however long you want it to be, it's on you.
Well, I mean, I'm an ex-Nike designer. I was at Nike for a very long time, living in Asia, and ended up deciding to move to the U.S., back to the U.S., and start my own business, which was academics.
You're originally from VA?
Yes, I'm from Virginia. I'm actually from the same neighborhood as Pharrell, Atlantis Apartments, and this from there, I just ended up going to college and getting a BFA, and just decided to start my own business, and that turned out to be academics. I've been
So
doing it ever
fashion
since.
runs in your family. I do know Emmett. I know your brother Emmett. I know he used to work at Mecca and then
Yes.
academics. So what do you have, like your parents worked in fashion or designers? Or?
Yes, my mother was pretty much like a home store, but my dad's side of the family, they worked for Oshkosh B'gosh.
Oshkosh B'gosh.
I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that was a
Yeah,
kids' wear
everybody's
label.
familiar with
And
Oshkosh
so
B'gosh.
I was always sewing like as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
so I was always selling things in high school, and I just had the passion for it and decided to do it for a living.
It seems like everybody that's big in designing had to spend some time in Asia, at least live there for a while. Everybody that I know. Why is that?
Well, that's where a lot of the production is being made for mass production. And for me, it was very much a benefit to be at Nike and living over there and studying it hands-on, and because I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now
Right.
if I didn't learn the craftsmanship and how things are being made.
So what did you exactly design at Nike? Like what's on people's feet
I pretty
or
much
body?
I pretty much did all of the organized team sports for Asia-Pacific apparel. So, for example, I had designed kits for the World Cup, Olympics, you name it. I did like the whole kit package for it. Home field, away field, uniforms for basketball teams. So much.
Gotcha.
A lot. But I did for a long time.
So with PRPS, what really intrigued me was the way you design clothes for PRPS.
Yes.
Could you tell them about that process?
Well, I decided to create a label that was very different in the market in 2002. And this is a time where there was only like two labels, jean labels, that were popular in the U.S. at the time. That was Lucky Jeans and Diesel at the time. That was considered premium. So I wanted to do something that was a bit higher as far as setting the bar is concerned. So I decided to actually make my jeans in Japan. And so the world really hadn't seen anybody going to Japan making jeans and bringing it back to the U.S. to actually do production. So we ended up getting into stores like Bergdorf Goodman's, Saks Fifth Avenue, Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom's, and it's been a great ride ever since. It's been really good.
Now, why are jeans so expensive? Like, if you go to some of these stores, you look at a pair of jeans, you could pay $1,200-$1,300 for a pair of jeans.
That is absolutely correct. But
They don't walk for you.
No, but it's the craftsmanship, it's the fabrication. I try to duplicate the same sort of construction that the original Biggie Levi's had done many, many years ago in the 1800s. So I try to duplicate that. So the jeans are actually cut by knife if you're buying the Noir label. And then we have a bit of a more mass-marketed label, such as the PRPS goods. But if you really want the high-end, which is the Noir, everything's cut by hand on selvage and it's beautiful.
And you actually get the idea for your clothes from the trash.
Not necessarily the trash, but I buy a lot of vintage, early Levi, Stronghold, companies of that nature that were around since the late 1800s, and I actually use them as my springboard conceptual ideas to generate the jeans and the washes.
You said you used to drive
down south, yes,
Yeah.
on Route 13, and I'm the type of person that would stop the family in the car, and I'd be like, oh, I want to go check out that old house down the street. And typically it's like in the woods off, and I would walk in, and typically there's always a pair of old clothing, and it's typically sun faded or distressed of some form or manner, and I would actually duplicate that jean and actually give it to the marketplace.
Now, I noticed with a lot of the early PRPS, the jeans were a lot bigger and the cuts got a lot thinner.
Yes.
Now, is that because of the style has changed, or is...
Yes, trends definitely change in the market. The original fit that you're talking about was called the Impala, but we have a lot smaller fits like the Demon, the Rambler. We have about 5 different fits that we pretty much cater to the stores with.
What about women's? You don't seem like you're that interested in doing women's.
I had
denim.
women's for a while. I had Elle McPherson and Kate Moss rocking my stuff all the time.
So they
I was selling
they make
Intermix for a
PRPS
while.
for women?
We did for a number of years, but I decided to stop it myself because I wanted to actually touch base with the large consumer. So and I'm the only designer at PRPS, and so I decided to pause the.
Oh, you just want all the money, huh? You just want all the money. the only
His vision is crazy. You got to see some of the old clothes that he
I've been up there a
actually
long time ago
turned
and I've seen
into
a lot of
PRPS.
Oh,
my office has changed since the last time.
We're
I
talking
started.
about women's
Yes.
clothing right now. Go ahead.
But I did that for a while, and it hurt to stop it because I had such a strong following. But the PRPS goods division has grown in such a fast pace that I'm very happy with it.
Is it harder, you think, to design for women than it is for men?
I actually enjoy designing women's because there was no bars, no holds.
Well, designing women's jeans and men's jeans are the same now.
I
They were-
wouldn't necessarily say that
Pretty
because
close.
the percentage of stretch is totally different for women versus
Right.
men.
We need.
You ain't seen men in these stretch jeans.
And
lately?
not only that, but they like high rises, low rises, boot cuts,
So
Yeah,
do
well,
men.
flares.
depending on what day it is,
Yeah,
I need
it's-
to know. Right.
Yeah,
Now
and it also depends on her personal shoes. It makes
Right.
a big difference in the color.
There's so many things we have to worry about when it comes to our jeans. For you guys, I just feel like it's easier for y'all to pick a pair of jeans to wear. Like
Now-
we have to try them on. We have a billion different.
We still
cuts,
have
different
occasions.
colors.
Men still have
Yeah,
occasions.
you have occasions, but our occasions change every
Yes,
6
a
hours.
lot more drastic.
Now, I also
yes.
notice with your jeans are probably the only jean out there, because I shop for jeans a lot, that are different. You guys have the different coloring, the different fading, the different cuts. You know, what puts you so advanced and so far in front of everybody else? Because next year, everybody will have those cuts that you guys are having. And
Because he digs in the trash.
so I should start digging in the trash.
Yes.
The sad reality is he's actually right about that.
I'm digging in the trash from now on. When I leave here, I'm digging in the trash.
Well, and we've always been a very edgy company and have a lot of people try to follow the style of PRPS. But it pays to be different. I have to be different, especially being a minority the way I am, to stay in the market and keep ahead. I'm one of the only minority designers to be in a Bergdorf, a Nordstrom, a Bloomingdale's, and Saks.
Now,
At that
Kanye West
level.
said that's impossible. Kanye West said there are no black designers getting in those places. How did that happen for you?
Kanye's, he's a very passionate guy, but I can totally understand the social platform in which he's speaking of because for Kanye, he speaks to a large consumer. He sells tons of music, whereas I'm a small-time designer with a smaller budget, and so a lot of people may not have heard of the brand. But for someone like Kanye, millions of people see his lyrics, and he would like to see somebody with a runway show and fashion houses and things of that nature, which I would love to have if I actually had a backer that would provide that kind of revenue for me, so I can generate in-store, social events and things of that nature. But right now, I'm still, keeping my pace as a jean designer and kind of making strides with that.
No, it's true, though, because one of the buyers at Neiman Marcus in Jersey, he was fighting for PRPS, and when he finally got it, he was so excited because he loved the jeans so much. But does that hurt you or help you with a lot of these small boutiques carrying your line? Because, people know to get your stuff from these small boutiques, not to name any names, opposed to your Neiman Marcus and your Bergdorf and things
That's
like
you don't
why.
wanna
That's
name no
why I have
names?
different segments within the line. Like if you really wanted to have the best or creme de la creme, you have to go to Atrium and Bergdorf's. And I'm sorry, am I even
No,
allowed
shout
to
out
say
to the
that?
Atrium. Name the names we can get discounts when we go in there.
I can
What are you talking about?
discounts anyway. But not like the Atrium, they're small boutiques, and at one time that was the only place to find PRPS.
Yes, PRPS Noir
Right.
and PRPS Japan. But the type of things that you see in the more smaller boutiques, that's my PRPS goods line. Which again is the same fabrication that I supply for my PRPS Noir line, but it's not made in the same facility. It's a totally different facility. So, for example, it's made in Europe and other places in Asia as well.
Now, you don't do too much tops and things.
No, not
at the
much.
why not that much?
Because jeans are a staple in the men's wardrobe. It's not going anywhere. But tops, come and go and different. It's kind of hard to keep pace with that kind of thing. But I do a little bit here and there.
That
but I don't
fall
focus
line I
on
saw got some crazy tops. That fall PRPS line got some ill
So
tops.
what is next now for men's denim?
Right now, I'm experimenting a lot with stretch and finishes. I'm always trying to come up with different finishes, like silicone or coated or resin. I'm always trying to come up with something different.
I remember when hard denim was real big in the men's world.
It actually still is.
You think?
Actually, I actually have quite a number of entertainers who are always asking me for hard raw denim.
I've always liked hard raw denim.
You ever think the Prince pants will come back with the ass cut out?
No, not at all. At least not from me, anyway.
Now you refer to yourself as a jean hunter. What does that mean?
Well, because I'm the type of person that likes to go to different places within the U.S. continent and look for things in abandoned buildings to actually bring it back and replicate it for the market. That's what I do. That's
Gotcha.
what I do in the regular.
What would you say was the most disappointing phase in men's jeans? Like something that, was in style for a while and you're like, all right, what were we thinking?
I think probably those sewn pleats in the front for a year. I know I used to wear those when I was a kid. Remember that back in the day with the Lees, with the sewn? But no, I'm glad those are gone.
Or like maybe all the gems on the back pockets and stuff like that. That was
I
big.
never partook in anything like that. I know what you're talking about. I don't believe in like bad trends like that. I like mensy clothing.
Would you ever do a cheaper line, like sometimes Levi's or even Ralph Lauren
Maybe
has
something for like Target.
the purple label? No, not that cheap, but like because a lot of people can't afford PRPS, but might love it. But $300 for a pair of jeans might be tough.
Well, he just did a special line for Lees, but it ain't the Lees in America.
That ain't no $80 Lees.
No,
though.
that's
No, it's not. No, but I was very fortunate to have to be nominated amongst all the jean designers in the world to do the 125th anniversary for Lee.
Nice.
And these are the same guys who invented putting zippers in jeans. James Dean, Marlon Brando, Marilyn Monroe, and it was just nice to be honored to actually have that exclusive rights to do that for them.
And in other countries, Lee is huge, right?
It's still
Gigantic,
huge.
gigantic.
It's still huge, yeah.
But would like Envy said,
We
would you
still
ever-
remember the slogan. Don't you wish everything fit like Lee's?
I never even knew
That's
that slogan.
correct.
slogan.
How old are you?
Correct, yeah.
I had never heard that.
Actually, I know a lot about fashion.
But
unlike
but back to the
yourself.
cheaper pair of jeans. Would you make a pair of jeans like that, or is that something on the horizon?
As long as it's done my way, yes. As long as it's done my way, I would have to be approached by the right entity to do something like that. But it wouldn't be under the PRPS label per se, maybe my name.
Okay.
Now the blogs kind of help PRPS blow up, right? Like the tabloids.
Oh, for sure, yes. I mean, we get on so many stars, David Beckham, Brad Pitt, you name it, Gerard Butler. It's pretty much a who's who. And these guys are actually the first people wearing PRPS long before the minority was.
So when Brad Pitt, it was like when Brad Pitt, I got caught cheating with Angelina Jolie.
He was on the beach with Angelina. He hadn't gotten divorced with, Jennifer Aniston just yet. And they took a photo. They put him on a cover, and the back of his jeans were PRPS, and that
And
was all
everybody
she
was like,
wrote.
I need those jeans.
Wow.
That's pretty much what happened.
Right.
Wow.
So there's probably
What
some PRPS out there with Brad Pitt's pre stains in them.
Stop
You
it,
probably
man.
could take that and make a new design.
Stop it.
Now, what about jean suits? What's your take on jean suits?
Jean suits are very cool. I like the idea of a denim jacket matching the jeans.
That's
but
how
it
you
has
met
to be
Charlamagne.
done.
That's
But
how
it
you know-
has to be done right.
Oh, right.
It has to be done right. It can't be matchy-matchy. It
Look
has
at
to be,
Charlamagne and say it has to be done right.
What? Actually,
about
I
jean
actually went up to PRPS and they put together a fresh jean suit outfit.
It has to be a
It
different
can't be
tone.
It wasn't matching.
The
It
top
wasn't
has to be a
matching,
different tone than the bottom.
It
Absolutely.
can't be a real suit. It has
No,
to be
it can't be a complete match.
jean outfit.
No, not at all.
Now for kids watching, like you have to be a millionaire because of this, right?
I wish I was. Wish I was. Maybe with the right back, I would be.
Close to it though.
I'll do okay.
I'm
not
people-
hurting.
I'm sure people have approached you, though, investors and the sort like that, and you've had to, I'm sure, turn people down that wanted to invest.
It has to be the right investment. I'm always looking for new opportunities. Every designer would love to have his name on a product line. It's no different than Tom Ford when he was working for Gucci.
Right.
He wanted to have his own name out there. And that's one of my many aspirations. So eventually, God willing, if that happens, I would look forward to it.
Would you encourage kids to get into this field?
Yes, but do something different. Don't come out and regurgitate the same thing day in, day out just because you see it on a blog. When I did academics or PRPS, there was a lot of research that went into it before I started it. There was no Japanese jean being made in the U.S. for the general public. So I wanted to do something different and create a stepping stone for other designers to come out and do jeans. And look, lo and behold, look what has happened. There's tons of Japanese jeans now.
Well, this is clearly your passion because your mother used to sew, but
Yes.
if it wasn't my passion per se, would you still encourage me to get into it?
Of course, it's a free country. Why not?
Gotcha.
There's a lot of people that come up to me every day and tell me they're starting a clothing line. Can you send
everybody.
some clothes?
Selling T-shirts
Yes.
on Instagram.
Yes, yes. But doesn't mean that they're all going to be profitable.
Right.
It's a very competitive market. If you look at the typical jean companies, when you go to a Saks, Nordstrom, whatever, they're typically the same 5 companies. And people tend to especially men, tend to like to defer to what they normally wear.
Right.
So they always go back to those brands, and to be considered as PRPS to be one of those 5, it's such a huge honor.
No, it's great, and I like the fact that you guys come up with so many different things. Like if you look at your J brands, your nudies, or even your diesels, it's always the same jean. There's nothing ever different, and that's why PRPS is always great because you guys have so many different things. You know?
Yes. I
What does
appreciate
PRPS
it. Thank
stand
you.
for?
Purpose.
Purpose.
Everything with a purpose.
You guys
know,
always taking letters out and
makes it
academics.
easier. It actually makes it easy, and you're right. That was kind of a bit of a.
I remember when I
common
used to
denominator
go home over the bridge in Brooklyn. There was a huge academics billboard.
The soldier.
Yeah.
Oh yes. That
There
was actually
there
the
was
first.
a little error on there. I remember I used to look
Most
at
people thought that, but it
it.
actually wasn't an error.
error.
But that was actually huge. Academics was a very huge success for us.
Mm-hmm.
I had a really great team, and I had really great memories.
You guys were probably one of the first clothing lines back then to flood the industry with clothes.
Yes, we
Because you
did.
guys, that's when Fab was coming up, and you started with all the new rappers, and not particularly the old rappers, and it really worked out for you guys.
Yes, it was definitely like the new generation of street at the time that
Yeah.
we started it, yes. Because before that, it was like Carl Kanai and
Right.
stuff like that. And
Mecca.
it was Mecca. But, when Academics came out, it was different. And I put the same sort of energy into that I do with PRPS, and I think that's what made it successful.
Do you think rappers now are helping PRPS? Because I hear it mentioned in rhymes.
They have always been a part of the success of PRPS. I mean, they've always been wearing it, and they desire the best jeans, just like anybody else does. It doesn't have to be just a movie star.
Gotcha.
I welcome all money.
Word.
Doesn't make a difference to me.
Well, we appreciate you joining us.
Hold on. You
upset.
and him got something else in common too.
What's that?
He's into cars.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh yes, definitely. But I'm I don't know. You're into vintage
He's
muscle
into
cars?
vintage.
Nah, not too much.
He
He
I
likes
mean,
new stuff,
yeah,
new flashy
Phantoms
cars.
and
Oh,
Ghosts.
I mean,
I
I
just
have,
got a 71 Chevelle, but you know what it is with the old cars? They just seem like when you're driving down the street and they break down, you're effed. Like, you know what I mean? I was driving down one time and then the brakes stop, and it's not
Oh,
the
my
old
God.
kind of brakes. It's the brakes where you pump.
Yeah,
and I'm
yes,
riding
drum
down
brakes,
Madison
drum brakes,
Avenue,
yeah.
no brakes. I'm dodging cars. I just left the car on the side and towed it, and I sold it.
no way.
But I just bought myself a new one. I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna try it again. I love the way they are, but it just the air conditioning never works all the way.
I know
it's-
exactly what you mean. But I used to have those same problems when I first got into it. But you know what? You learn. You start hanging around guys who know it. You learn how to fix your own cars to the point where you don't have to worry about it.
But you know how to fix your own cars?
Hell no.
Have you ever had a
What
car?
happened to Superman?
Have you ever had a car that influenced a pair of PRPS jeans?
Every car that I have is actually the name of a fit within PRPS. So,
Oh, really?
for example, I have a Barracuda, I have a Rambler, I have a Demon. I have various cars, and that's why I named the jeans the way I do.
So you have all vintage cars, no new cars?
I have the Nissan GTRs and stuff like that, And, the funny thing about
You know
that
what a
is-
Nissan GTR is not a regular Nissan, Charlamagne, by the way. It's not one of them little Nissans. It's over 125,000. It will beat my Ferrari.
That
right?
means nothing to
I'm
me.
just telling you.
I don't know
That
anything
Nissan
about
GTR
It's a
that.
monster.
will beat my Ferrari.
It's a
all right?
monster car.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay, don't worry
I
about
have a
it.
2004
It's not many
Escalade.
made. There's not a lot made.
There's not many, man.
Yeah. But it's a beautiful car.
Okay. Well, I was kind of upset you came and I seen a little bag. I thought it was going to be a big bag with treats for me and you and Charlamagne.
What is
but-
that you holding in your hand? Is
but
this your
that-
coat?
No, just a coat to wear over what I
Oh,
have.
gotcha.
It's
But
a
that
little
little
chilly
bag ain't
outside.
got no jeans in it for us.
Maybe a pin for you, though.
maybe a pen. But we appreciate you joining us today.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. And it was an
telling
honor
your
to be on
story.
your show. Thank you.
Definitely. And see, kids out there, you don't have to be an athlete or a rapper.
Or a
There's
rapper.
other things that you can do that if you have passion for, that you can make some money and make your career.
That's right.
All right.
And you see how he didn't yell and beg for corporate sponsors? He politely just said, hey, if you guys want to invest, cool. If not, I'll be over here doing my own thing.
I'm going to push regardless.
Yes.
All right.
You hear that, Mr. West?
Gosh. It's the Breakfast Club. It's Donwan. Is it Harrell or Harrell?
Harrell.
Harrell. It's the Breakfast Club. Mr. PRPS.